bird slammed into the windshield of a car while the driver was test driving the vehicle on a racetrack. A driver in Denver hit and killed a goose. The collision happened unexpectedly, leaving the goose no time to avoid it. Due to the driver heading in the wrong direction, an incident occurred. The horse was affected, but recovered and returned to work. This was the accident involving the Budweiser horse-drawn carriage at Rodeo SA 2023. A kangaroo was hit while crossing the road. A plainclothes police car followed immediately after the collision to check the severity of the damage.
While the vehicle was moving, a seagull took off too slowly and collided with the car. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 9 collided with a seagull at a speed of 180 km/h. During the Indy 500 test practice session, driver Fernando Alonso accidentally collided. The animal stood in the middle of the road, challenging the driver, and the collision proved
A Canada goose was hit by a car. Watch until the end to see what happens. Canada geese can actually pose a serious danger to road users. A baby goose crossed the road and narrowly avoided being hit by a car. The driver suddenly collided with a bird flying across the road. A driver in Denver struck and killed a goose.
driving from Carson City to Bishop after the Kit Carson All-Star event. A mountain lion suddenly lunged toward the vehicle. A mother duck was leading her ducklings across the road as many vehicles stopped to give way. A playful panda slips while climbing a tree and gets its body stuck on a branch. It takes quite some time before the panda manages to pull. A car drove straight into a flock of geese, killing and injuring several and forcing the remaining birds into danger amid moving traffic. At that critical moment, a brave biker appeared and stepped in just in time to rescue and protect the flock of geese.
Pierre Gasly ran over a rabbit during the FP1 practice session at the 2025 Imola Grand Prix. Though this poor squirrel really couldn't catch a break. After escaping a crow's pursuit, it darted across the road and narrowly avoided being hit by a car. A squirrel was struck by a car but was fortunately spotted and rescued in time by a man nearby. This massive monitor lizard got stuck in the middle of the road after trying to cross, only to end up trapped between oncoming traffic. The vehicle ahead strikes a wild turkey while traveling near the Patoka Reservoir area. This sudden movement of a herd of goats nearly causes a serious collision. Thanks to quick braking, the accident is avoided, no goats are injured, and the vehicle remains undamaged. The moment a cow crosses the road at the worst possible time, leading to a severe collision, rally race car crashes into a cow. An accident occurred at Freehold Raceway when the pace car skidded on icy pavement, lost control, and crashed into the horses. While driving a semi-truck on I-64, a small Prius passed ahead. Moments later, a deer suddenly ran across the road and was struck by the Prius. A driver stopped to let a herd of deer cross and flashed hazard lights to warn an oncoming dump truck, but the truck driver failed to react in time and hit the last deer. A moose suddenly ran onto the road and crashed into a car. A raccoon unexpectedly darted into the roadway and was run over by a passing vehicle. A camel suddenly burst out from the roadside and nearly collided with a car, but fortunately the driver managed to swerve in time to avoid it. The driver, traveling at about 70 km/h, hit a wild boar. The driver, traveling at 55 miles on Novoroshev Island, unexpectedly hit a wild boar and left without a mudguard. A large herd of antelope suddenly appeared and rushed across the road, forcing the driver to slam on the brakes and swerve to avoid them. The driver was driving late at night when a coati decided to cross the road. The car hit it, and the coati was thrown into the fender, then fell off as the car continued on its way. A pigeon was hit by a cross-country race car traveling at 150 km/h. A kangaroo caused a disturbance on the Hume Highway in Victoria when it suddenly darted across the road, disrupting traffic.
During the endless miles journey, the driver encounters a flock of ducks crossing the road. Everyone remains safe, and none of the ducks are struck by the vehicle. Security camera footage captures a panicked wild boar overwhelmed by traffic, charging straight through a gate, completely knocking it down. A herd of deer is struck by a train despite desperately fleeing the tracks. A fatal mistake leads a deer to attempt crossing the tracks as a train approaches at height. Dashcam video captures a bear running across Highway 19 North and being struck by a minivan traveling at approximately 130 km/h. A rare incident occurs when Princess Merida's horse becomes tangled in balloons during a parade at Disney World's Magic Kingdom. A vehicle from the opposite direction flashed its lights, alerting the driver and preventing a serious accident. Just outside Bakersfield, a bear is struck by a vehicle on State Route 58. The entire incident is captured on dashcam footage. A vehicle collides with a bear as it tries to dart across the road.
The driver had no intention of hitting the deer as it was thrown into the air. A snake was crossing the road when it was suddenly run over by a passing vehicle. Driving on rural Australian roads is always dangerous, and an unexpected collision with a kangaroo occurred.
Action.
The kangaroo slipped and nearly put itself in a life-threatening situation. Luckily, it survived. A CBR rider was on his way home when he accidentally struck a raccoon. A car passed by, and everything happened too fast for the driver to react. Despite slamming on the brakes, the animal was badly injured, crawled to the roadside, and died shortly afterward. Dashcam footage captured a collision with a deer. Even after being hit and damaging the car, the deer surprisingly got back up and walked away. A police vehicle struck a deer, sending it flying over the hood before it landed on the roadside. Moments later, the deer stood up and ran straight into nearby bushes. Large eastern brown snake, despite being run over and having part of its body badly crushed, continues to fight on. The incident occurred after the snake was hit by a car while crossing the road. No one knows what this lucky snake was thinking. The driver passed right over it, but somehow never struck or ran over its body. While driving passengers home and chatting casually, the driver suddenly encounters a family of raccoons directly in front of the car. Unfortunately, everything happens too fast to brake or avoid them completely. On the way to work, this person stops to help a badly injured badger, likely just hit by a vehicle. Without that timely intervention, the animal might have been run over by someone else. The car nearly hit a cow while driving at high speed. A pigeon slammed into the CBR 600 at high speed, causing a strong collision. Luckily, there was no major damage, just time needed to clean the motorcycle. The motorcyclist helped a woman chase down a runaway wild horse. Together, they caught up with and controlled the horse, preventing a dangerous situation.
Someone's morning was completely thrown into chaos when a wild boar crossed the road and was struck by a car, a troublesome start to the day. The video captured a horrifying moment when a horse crashed through a car's windshield, and people nearby struggled desperately to rescue the animal from the vehicle. An unimaginable accident occurred when a horse-drawn carriage was struck by a car right on the road, leaving witnesses in complete shock.
That said, look at all the places he's receiving right now.
A tragic moment occurred when a fox was struck by a car on the road.
The deer was hit by a car and exploded. The impact was so strong that the deer shattered, creating a horrifying scene on the road. The deer was hit by an ATV. The force of the collision sent the deer flying, and the driver had to stop immediately to assess the situation. night, at least one deer was unfortunately hit by a car while running in the outer lane. The kangaroo suddenly jumped into the windshield of a car at Litchfield National Park. The strong impact shattered the windshield, but luckily the driver wasn't injured. A collision between a car and livestock occurred on a highway in India. A police officer was removed from frontline duty after being accused of using a patrol car to strike a runaway cow. Witnesses said they were outraged by how the incident was handled. A woman suffered minor injuries when her scooter collided with a roaming cow. She filed a complaint, holding municipal authorities and the livestock owner responsible. A fox was struck by a car while crossing the road.